Mercy them out here with a guide on how you can max out your Ogre Camp population by turn 19 using raiding lords and enemy territory so that you can build your tier 5 Ogre Camp. You can 100% get the growth required to max out your Ogre Camp population by turn 19. I can't guarantee you'll have the 16,000 gold to build it. However, you can always sell the crap tons of magical items you'll get following this guide, or perhaps ask your new dwarven allies for a loan. This is a very passive strat. If you want to be more aggressive and expansionist early, you don't have to follow the complete guide. However, early camp growth does give you access to all of the high tier units, heroes, and economic buildings that the camp can offer. In order to maximize early growth, you need to place your first camp in enemy territory. In Greasus's campaign, you'll start off normally attacking the ogres to the south of you, start research on Camp Huddle. The research will finish on turn 4 and you'll be able to place your first camp. You're mostly surrounded by ogres on all sides. None of them are too friendly with you at first, so spend Greasus' initial skill point in Tribe Stealer to increase your relations with the surrounding ogres. On turn 2, after you occupy Grimtop, you can go back into diplomacy and the relationship bonuses will have already taken effect, allowing you to secure trade agreements, possibly military access and non-aggression pacts. As well as giving you a little extra income, these agreements will further increase your relation with the other ogre kingdoms and go a long way to securing your borders and giving you time to work on your Ogre Camp growth. Recruit units as you go, and at the end of the turn 3, make sure that you're in range to attack Skrag Kraken on the next turn. On turn 4, your technology will complete and you'll have the ability to drop your first camp. Drop it in the middle of the Skrag Kraken region and immediately take the camp's garrison to add to your army. Just a side note, new camps spawn instantly with 2 to 4 units in there that you can transfer into your army. You can also demolish a camp instantly and then place a new camp again after that. You can do this repeatedly and each time take the new units that have spawned into your army to instantly recruit some emergency troops. However, it will be quite expensive. Camps cost 2,000 to establish and you don't get any money back when you demolish it unless you take the time to demolish individual buildings in the camp. Anyway, back to turn 4. Attack the Skaven at Skrag Kraken and sack the settlement. You'll have to fight the battle manually this first time, but once you've sacked it once, you'll be able to auto-resolve from then on. After the battle, put Greasus in raiding stance. Raiding in the same region as your camp gives you plus 10 growth. Then recruit a second lord from your camp. Next turn, you'll start him raiding for another plus 10 growth. Go into the camp and build the level 1 growth building. Don't bother with the level 2 building unless you need the extra recruitment capacity, as it doesn't give much extra growth. Before the end of the turn, go back into the tech tree and start researching Camp Foraging. Camp Foraging gives you plus 20 growth, but only when you're in enemy territory. You could also research larger fire pits, but this only gives you plus 5 growth and it would require an extra 3 technologies. Ideally, you want to get through each section as quickly as possible to unlock the plus 1 camp limit tech that's at the end of each grouping. I went along the top line in the first section to get Camp Foraging. Then I went along the bottom line to get Gone Off Meat. Also, if you want to later on come back and get the plus 3 hero capacity for fire bellies, you only have to research 1 extra technology. In the third section, I like to go along the top and so I can take Campsite Cullen. Your new camps will pop out with 3 extra population. And then in the last section, you want to take both bigger camps and Sky Titan plateaus for 2 more extra camp limit. Then you can cycle back and get bigger tents. For bigger tents, you'll need both the top and the bottom. You'll have to research 3 extra technologies there. If you aren't able to research fast enough to increase your camp limit when you need to drop a new camp, you can also get 1 extra camp limit in Greasus Goldtooth skill tree. Turn 5, put your second lord in raiding stance and move him down. Recruit a third lord at your camp and then sack Skrag Kraken again with Greasus. This time you can just auto-resolve it. Now that the enemy garrison is weakened, you can start downsizing your army and build the loot pile in your camp. Turn 6, move your second lord down to reinforce Greasus and recruit your 4th lord at the camp. Stack Kraken again and upgrade your camp to tier 2. By turn 7, you now have 4 lords raiding in the region. Move them down to reinforce Greasus at the Sack City. You now have a total of 60 growth per turn. It only takes 20 growth per population, so you're getting 3 population every turn. Keep sacking and raiding with your 4 lords each turn. By turn 9, you should have enough growth to upgrade your camp to tier 3. Although tier 5 is the eventual goal, tier 3 is an important milestone because it gives you access to elite Iron Guts, which Greasus gets a 50% upkeep reduction on, powerful Gorger unit and Hunter hero, Lead Belchers, the tier 3 income building, and Butcher heroes. Following this guide will get you the 10 population needed to reach tier 3 by turn 9. However, you'll need another 36 6 population to get all the way to tier 5. By turn 12, you'll research camp foraging, giving you an additional 20 growth per turn so long as the camp remains in enemy territory. You'll already have 9 of the 16 population you need for tier 4, and you'll be making 80 growth per turn. That's 4 new populations per turn as long as you keep your 4 armies raiding. Your 3 extra lords can probably handle sacking the settlement themselves at this point if you fight the battles manually, particularly if you've leveled a couple of them in beast magic and given them Flock of Doom. So this could be a good time to recruit some heroes and higher tier troops with your main army and go off to conquer. I don't build up my settlements because I don't want to have to protect them. During this growth phase, I want to concentrate my small army on sacking the Skaven and protecting my camp. The camp is the only important building that you have. If you lose the camp, you lose all your turns of growth. The other settlements don't really matter and can be easily recaptured. The ogres to the north are generally quite passive anyway, and you can put off dealing with them for a while if you're willing to put up with them raiding. Another benefit of raiding and sacking the Skaven is that your unfriendly dwarven neighbors will absolutely love you. They may even destroy the ogres for you. Bear in mind, you'll only be able to maintain their friendly relations as long as you keep raiding the Skaven. So if you ever want to actually occupy Karak Kraketon, be prepared to go to war with the dwarves. At the time of this recording, we still have the supply lines bug in the game. So when you're finished here, if you disband these other ogre lords, your upkeep will actually not go down, even though the supply lines penalty will stop being displayed there. If you want to get rid of these lords, you have to send them into battle and get them killed. However, what I prefer to do is as soon as I occupy Kraketon, I'll move on, place a second camp, and transfer all my raiding ogres to the next camp to power its growth up. I'll keep these growth ogres in play for as many camps as possible. This is a guide for creating a permanent camp that you want to level up as fast as possible. You generally want to put this in a safe place inside your territory. Your camps don't need to be helpless though. You can recruit a powerful garrison of your own choosing, and with the camp's base 60% upkeep reduction and the Noblar's box chains of buildings, you can actually reduce their upkeep of all of the garrison units by 90%. As well as these safe permanent camps, you'll also occasionally want to set up temporary offensive camps in enemy territory just to support your local armies and also to let you transfer your troops into the camp to save on upkeep when they're not needed. Also, if you're playing Skrag, you can use this exact same technique to level up his camp super fast. I recommend that you put his first camp in Drachenfels. You can raid the Skaven in Drachenfels to increase your relations with Marienburg, get an alliance there, and it secures your northern border. There's still a lot more stuff to talk about with the Ogre's various mechanics and units, but I'll leave that for future videos.